It was 26 January 2001, around 7 in the morning in Jamnagar. Baba had returned from his night duty and brought piping hot samosas for breakfast. I was excited, partly for the samosas and partly because it was Republic Day, which meant I could go to school without carrying my bag. I would never skip that. Now he handed me the bag of samosas and shouted, "प्रज्ञा, गरम समोसे आणले आहे, चहा ठेवून दे." Now, the chai was still steeping. We heard a low rumbling noise in the house. It went on for a while. We assumed it was a fighter jet. It did not stop. Our house began to shake. Baba picked me up, held mummy, and ran downstairs, knocking on doors and shouting, "Bhukam, Bhukam! Utho, Bhukam!" Within minutes, families gathered outside. Some barefoot, some still in their banyans, hoping that our buildings won't collapse. And they did not. But for the next 2 months, more than 20 families lived in large tent camps. We shared food, space, routine together. We cooked together, we cleaned together. We showed up every day. This was the first time in my life that I felt I was being a part of something larger than myself. I did not know it was called community. Hello everyone, my name is Prateek, and today I want to talk about an idea that took me years to understand. That real impact does not come from reaching more people. Rather, it comes from being deeply trusted by a few. And before we move on, I have a quick confession. I am an introvert. And a lot of people think that I only have one black t-shirt. But believe me, I have more. Most mornings look pretty ordinary for me. The same black t-shirt, the same cup of coffee, the same walk into a familiar space. Nothing about it feels special. As an introvert, it never came to me that I would go and talk to people and strike conversation. But over time, I realized these tiny repetitions were quietly doing something important. But wait, what if community isn't about reach at all? And the answer came to me in a place I did not expect. It was my first Himalayan trek, and I had almost quit midway. We were a group of around 17 trekkers. Day 1 felt manageable. Day 2 was a reality check. By the end of day 2, I was tired, exhausted, nauseous. I thought of quitting. Now, for most trekkers, the main source of motivation is the view from the summit. It is supposed to be breathtaking. But for me, honestly, I was dreaming about that full body massage after the trek. I mentioned this to my group that I was thinking of turning back, not going ahead. The trek leader smiled at me and said, "भैया, समिट तो हम सब साथ ही जाएंगे." Just for context, right now, we are sitting at 30 feet above sea level. The summit, that was at 14,000 feet. I chose to go ahead. And in the beginning of day 3, 15 minutes into our trek, and this happened. The third person in row, that's me. The group picked me up and they reminded I did not have to do it alone. They said, "Don't look up. The summit looks far and intimidating. Rather, look down, take a small step. And whenever you feel tired, pause, look around, enjoy the scenery, and then move ahead." I reached the summit, second last. But do you know who came in last? It was Pinaki Dada. He was a 48-year-old man with a rod in his leg. Watching him climb was humbling. I thought to myself, if he could do it, I could at least try. Had it not been for the group, I would have returned that day. Now, if you are wondering, why did Pinaki Dada choose Such a demanding trek, let me tell you. After his surgery, doctors told him that he will not be able to walk more than 5,000 steps a day. That did not sit well with him. And the rest, as you all know, is history. As poetic as all of this may sound, but I did not imagine it. I lived it. This red encircled person is Pinaki Dada. Had I returned that day, I wouldn't have just quit on myself, but I would have also failed the group. I am glad I chose to go ahead. Not in the best form, but together. Now, somewhere between Jamnagar and now, something shifted. We got very good at building audiences. We learned how to optimize visibility, gather attention, scale reach. And nothing about that is wrong. But the problem is how quickly we move on. We show up once, maybe twice, and then move on to the next thing. But community does not happen instantly. It's built on trust. And trust forms only when you show up again and again and again. The first time I saw this being practiced intentionally, it was in Auroville. Now, a fascinating thing about Auroville is people there apparently do not practice any religion. Interesting? Of course. But I was looking for something far more important. Pizza. Auroville has great pizzas. This was at the Auroville bakery. I observed when people finished their meals, they picked up their plates, took it to the housekeeping station, all by themselves. Unusual. After their day's work, people would head to a small theater in their town called Cinema Paradiso. There, they would screen old, forgotten movies, all free of cost. Sounds like a dream, right? But the more time I spent there, the more I realized none of this was accidental. Around the same time, I started applying these little learnings on our neighborhood coffee shop, where coffee became the medium, not as a product, but as a ritual. We tried initiatives like legal vandalism, where people were invited to draw murals, mark the space as theirs, turning rebellion into belonging and ownership. We did heritage walks at the ancient Shiv Mandir of Ambarnath, through the lanes of Rambaug, Doodh Naka, Parsi Naka, all of this in Kalyan. Now, these places have always connected people. We only resurface them and connected people through shared culture and coffee as a medium. We hosted Poro Perspectives, a safe space to speak and listen. All the sessions started with one ritual, brewing a pour over coffee in the beginnings. Now, this one time, we were severely underprepared for an event. But before we could even react, the regulars stepped in. They moved chairs, welcomed the newcomers, stayed back, helped us team up after the event. No one had asked them to. That's when I realized it wasn't about the event going smoothly. They did this because they felt they were a part of the place too. This is a picture from Legal Vandalism, the first edition that we did. Then we have the Heritage Walk at Shiv Mandir. Then we have the Poro Perspectives. And to put all of this into perspective, the engineer in me has drawn a flowchart. Now, community can be formed either circumstantially or it can be built by choice. If you look back at all of these stories, you would find something common, a pattern. A pattern that can come down to three simple actions. One, stay where you are. Pick a place, pick a neighborhood, pick a group, and refuse the urge to move on too quickly. Second, return. Show up again, not perfectly, but consistently. Three, carry responsibility. Do something small without being asked. help someone belong, make space. And that's how trust and culture forms. And when you realize that, the question changes from how can I reach more people to who do I show up for consistently? Because reach will bring people once, culture will bring them back, and community is what keeps them. And sometimes it begins with something as ordinary as a black t shirt and a cup of coffee. Thank you.